Hey everyone, I'm Armor Gaming, welcome back to my channel, and welcome to monster analysis, although it's a little unconventional analysis, on RociGOD. And if you saw the first video I ever released with the Knights and Castle Maze, I made the claim that RociGOD might possibly be the best light legendary monster, and if anything, if you don't agree with that, then he's definitely the best team speed holder in the whole entire game. And I know it's tough to make a claim like this monster is the best because there are so many factors to consider. And first of all, typically deny monsters are the best, and RociGOD, he's not a deny monster. Just take a look at that speed, 33.99. That is not a fast base speed. But you see, RociGOD does not need 3 speed runes. He needs to go last in the turn order. So honestly, the slower he is, the better, because he occupies that 3rd spot like no other monster. Like seriously, no monster even comes to my mind that can top what RociGOD does. He's an incredible support monster, and so I'm going to try my best to defend the claim on why exactly he's the best monster, the best light legendary monster in my opinion, or again, if you don't want to accept that claim, then the best team speed holder. So again, this monster, you want to put 3 team speed runes on him, you want him to go last, and then he can work his magic. And the main reason that's the case is because of his skill right here in skills group 3, Charged with Resonance. This skill removes all negative status effects and cooldowns from one ally, gives 1 extra turn to one ally, requires cooldown. It only has a 22 stamina cost with a 4 turn cooldown. This is the main reason this monster is incredible. And I know some people don't like when monsters are a one-trick pony, but I mean, come on, sometimes that one trick is just so phenomenal that it makes the monster pretty close to being overpowered. I've made the same claim with Sammy. If Sammy didn't have his resurrection skills, if he didn't have pestilence and pain and all those other skills, that incredible healing skill, it's really just Samurai Warrior that makes him incredible and an elite monster. It's kind of the same thing with RociGOD. This skill is just, the skill alone, in my opinion, is overpowered. And primarily, it's the fact that it restores the cooldowns and it gives an ally an extra turn. And I'll talk a lot about this because this skill is just, it's mind-blowing to me. But I don't want to take other stuff away from RociGOD, because if you look at his other skills, he's still amazing. So what do you want from a support monster? Well, what I personally want is a monster that can remove positive effects from the enemy team and remove negative effects from my team, and then other incredible support stuff would be healing for my team, or maybe a resurrection skill. Now RociGOD doesn't have the healing or the resurrection, but let's take a look at his skills. They are not giants. He deals heavy light damage to one enemy, and removes positive status effects from the enemies. There we go, he can remove positive from the enemy. Let's take a look at Bitter Reading. Deals moderate light damage to an enemy, removes negative status effects from allies. So he can do them both. He can remove negative effects from your team, remove positive effects from the enemy team. And take a look at this skill right here. Applies double damage to all of your allies. So he even has a buffing skill. So he can damage buff your team. He can remove negative effects from your team. He can even remove positive effects from the enemy team. And so seriously, what more can you ask for a support monster? He does everything a support monster needs to do, and then he can churn transfer and restore cooldowns. Now just to quickly talk about the other skills, he can also AoE daze the enemy team, and then I want to talk about another skill in skills group 1 that I personally am running on my skills but I don't see other people running. Does not make a summer. This skill also removes negative effects from your allies, except it costs no cooldown. Except it costs no stamina. So even if your stamina is drained, even if you have less than Bitter Reading, which costs 26 stamina, you'll still be able to use this, which is, in my personal opinion, this is better than Bitter Reading. And I debated a lot over which one would be better using. Sure, Bitter Reading deals 40 damage, the cooldown is 1 turn less, but honestly, I don't think the cooldown matters too much. I think being able to use a skill when you have no stamina is way better, especially because of this skill right here. So first of all, this skill, you can apply this skill to yourself, which means, honestly, before you turn transfer to the monster you actually want to turn transfer, RociGOD can pretty much reset his own cooldowns. Let's say that you're worried about the 1 extra turn cooldown, well just think about it. If for some reason you started off the game with the removing negative effects because your team got hit with a DLT, maybe you were facing a Lernian, or maybe a Sammy that did Pestilence, okay, so you have all these DLTs, and you're worried about that 1 extra cooldown, you do realize that you can just activate Does Not Make a Summer, don't waste any stamina, 3 turn cooldown, and on your next turn you can do charge on yourself to restore your cooldowns, so you'll be able to use this again if you need to. So I don't think the cooldown is a big issue with this monster. And so if you're deciding between these two skills, I would personally recommend the no stamina skill. I mean, sure, there might be some chances when you needed that extra 40 damage to eliminate an enemy monster, but I think for the most part, no stamina is going to come in handy. A skill that costs no stamina is going to come in handy more often than none. But back to this skill, the skill that makes him amazing. I just wanted to state that even without this skill, he's incredible support because of what he can do. But this skill is just game-changing, game-breaking in my personal opinion, and this is why I'm comfortable saying that this monster is incredible. And so in order to prove that point, let's head over to PvP so I can show you guys some actual gameplay footage. Alright, so first let's start off by talking about how you construct a team. So normally you want to run a deny monster that has 3 speed runes, you want to run an attack monster that has a team speed, a speed, and at least 1 strength rune. For myself, because I face 130 monsters a lot of the time, I have a 120 Barakor with 2 strength runes, and eventually I will be replacing that level 4 strength rune for a higher team speed rune. And then you have a third monster, your treachery monster, that has team speed runes. So there he is, RociGOD, 3 team speed. And so this is typically how you construct competitive team setups. You want your fast deny monster to go ahead and AoE deny, you want your attack to eliminate 1 enemy monster, maybe AoE everyone, and then you want your support monster to support somehow. Sometimes the support monster will be faster than the attacker, and you can set up some sort of buff, like double damage increased accuracy. There's various different ways to do it. Or sometimes your support monster is in the background to support healing for all of your team, to remove negative effects, to remove positive effects from the enemy team, all of which RociGOD can do. But what I specifically like about RociGOD, going back to the skill, Charge, this skill essentially makes it so you have your best monster all over again at its full potential. The only thing that it doesn't do is restore all of the stamina, but other than that, it's basically like having 2 of your amazing deny monster or 2 of your amazing attacker. So for example, I have a Ruby right now. When Ruby does her best skill is Ruby Explosion. It activates 2 negative effects on the enemy team, has a 3 turn cooldown. That's normally what everyone wants to start off with if they have Ruby and they go first. Well, thanks to RociGOD, Ruby gets a reset, she gets to go again, and she's going to be able to use Explosion again. And Ruby isn't necessarily the best example, because even after Explosion, you can still do Lane Odds, you can still do Ruby Implosion. You know, Ruby has amazing skills to choose from. But if you take other deny monsters, maybe like a Krampus, maybe like a Frostbite has 2, Montezuma is actually a great one. Montezuma has the AoE cooldowns activated, Montezuma Revenge, but the downside to this skill is that he resets his own cooldown. Well, in a team with RociGOD, it allows Montezuma to activate cooldowns on the enemy team, and then it gives him an extra turn, which means you'll be able to actually attack with him. You'll be able to do Elder Curse, your 2-turn possession, Toxic Disease, your single possession and poison skill. So that's why I love RociGOD as a team speed holder. Some people are saying he's too slow. He's the perfect speed. He needs to go last in the turn order to be able to pull off these combos. So let me change this again. Let's look through more monsters. Let's see. Dartmouth's Bodyguard. Keep in mind, you don't need a turn transfer to your deny monster. You can turn transfer to your best attacker. So I can have Dartmouth's Bodyguard do his amazing fire-based AoE twice in a row. First by himself, and then with RociGOD giving him that extra boost. Undertaker's pretty cool. Let's say both my Barakor and my RociGOD were dead. With Undertaker, I could resurrect RociGOD. RociGOD gets resurrected. When he gets his turn, he can give an extra turn to Undertaker, reset his cooldown, which means he can do his resurrect skill one more time, which means he would be able to revive Barakor. So thanks to RociGOD, I'm able to get my whole team back. Who makes that possible? RociGOD. And by the way, the skill I was talking about is Dead Man Walks, which has a 3-turn cooldown. So this is what makes RociGOD amazing. It's basically, when he turn transfers, it's essentially like having your best monster all over again. Like, how amazing is that? And here's actually another cool combo you can do. Let me put Talos. So if you run an attacker build Talos, some people will actually run him with a rainbow build, except instead of a life rune, they'll give him a stamina rune, because his skills cost a lot of stamina. Well, if you run Define Target, oh, mine doesn't have it. Let me change skills. If you have Define Target, which deals 40 damage and gives yourself 1 extra turn, and you have Victim Chosen, look at the cooldown on the skill. 3 for Define Target, 3 for Victim Chosen. Victim Chosen deals insane special damage to an enemy, requires cooldown. So, thanks to RociGOD, if you're running a Talos that has 1 stamina, 1 strength, and 1 speed rune, guess what amazing combo you can pull off? You can do Define Target on 1 enemy monster, and Victim Chosen on another enemy monster. And thanks to Victim Chosen, you'll probably OTK that enemy monster. When RociGOD goes, he can give an extra turn to Talos again, and it resets his cooldown, which means he can Define Target again on that monster you originally defined target, so that's an extra 40 damage, so that's 80 damage. That monster's probably dead, and then you can Victim Chosen again on the 3rd monster, which means all 3 of the enemy monsters are dead. And you pull that off because of RociGOD, because he allows you to use your best monster one more time like they're brand new, like they were never even used. Again, the only thing is that he doesn't restore stamina, and thank goodness, because then he would truly be overpowered. And currently the skill says it removes negative status effects, which I haven't even touched on. So again, just the fact that he reactivates the cooldown and gives an extra turn, that's what's amazing. The fact that he removes negative status effects, that makes RociGOD even more powerful because it allows you to set up with your attacker. It allows you to do like his Master Quixote. I made a video on the level 1 to 100, you can see it. Quixote has a skill that gives him triple damage, but you risk self-possession for 2 turns. Well, thanks to RociGOD, you get rid of that possession skill, and so he only has the triple damage, and he gets to go, and then he has an AoE 45 damage AoE that just obliterates the competition. So I hope you're convinced that RociGOD is truly, truly amazing. The best team speed holder for sure. I don't think you can deny that, because if you're going to say, oh, I know a better team speed holder, it's Monster X. Well, why not just put that monster in your team, and then RociGOD can give him an extra turn. If you think he's that good, RociGOD kind of acts like a chameleon in that he's just so good. I hope you guys are understanding what I mean by that. That he's basically having, like, Ruby again. Let me switch back to Ruby. Thanks to RociGOD being able to turn transfer and reset the cooldowns, it's basically like I have 2 rubies on my team. So I really hope that much is clear. Let me show you some actual gameplay footage. And actually, I just scoped out the competition, and unfortunately my Ruby doesn't have the best runes, so I can't pull it off with her, but instead I'll pull it off with Plague Carrier. So the cool thing about RociGOD, again, he can mimic another monster. Essentially, he doesn't really mimic them, he gives them an extra turn, resets the cooldown. So with Sammy, I can basically turn transfer back and forward if I need to. So I'm gonna attack Smithers, and I was hoping that Thetis was super fast, faster than my Sammy, and unfortunately that isn't the case. I was hoping Thetis would Stamina Devours, and then my Sammy would do Samurai Warrior on RociGOD, which would restore all of the stamina on RociGOD. And then with RociGOD, I would do Charge on Sammy, which means Sammy would have been able to do Samurai Warrior again, and this time on Baragor, and then Baragor was free to attack because he'd have all his stamina back, and that would just highlight what RociGOD can do. Even though I got stamina drained, thanks to RociGOD, both of these monsters over here had their stamina back and are able to attack, and RociGOD would have a 50% accuracy boost, as would Baragor. So I'm not going to be able to pull that off, but I'm still going to do Samurai Warrior on Baragor. I'm going to kill General Thetis, and then I'm going to try to injure one of the Sammys, and I guess we'll just see how this battle goes. So Bestial Charge, that takes care of General Thetis. Maybe she'll get resurrected, I guess we'll find out. As for the Sammys, let's see, I don't know which one is next in the turn order. You have a life, you also have a life, so I'm just going to, oh wow, see, I got really close to killing him. Man, you know what, he does have a relic. The earth, this isn't about him, never mind. Bestial Charge, let's see if he gets stunned. He didn't get stunned, he almost died. And this is why I do run 2 strength runes. However, as you can see, one of them is a level 4, so not a very good rune. But nonetheless, I still am considering just giving him another team speed, replacing that level 4 strength rune, and eventually when I rank him up, then he'll be strong enough to LTK, I think. So anyhow, I'm just going to get rid of, let's actually check his stamina. I actually can't check his stamina, Sammy's in the way. So I'm actually going to recharge. Look at the cooldowns. I have a 2-turn cooldown on Bestial Charge and a 3-turn cooldown on my strong attack, Bestial Hits. I'm just going to recharge. Let's see what the enemy does. Unholy Resurrect, so Thetis does actually come back. Not a problem for me. Let's do RociGOD. So first of all, you notice I have all these negative effects on myself. That really sucks. What am I going to do? I'm going to do Charge on myself. So now, look at that. Negative effects are gone. No more negative effects to worry about. And if I want to, I can do Does Not Make Us Summer, which costs no stamina, to get rid of negative effects on my team. Not going to be doing that. But here's where I was telling you, where I have 2 options. I can do Charge on Sammy to give my Sammy an immediate extra turn, and him being able to use Samurai Warrior again, and I can do Samurai Warrior on my Baragor, or I can do Charge on Baragor, my attacker. So I have the option. I can either support my attacker, or I can support my Deny monster, or in this case, my Turn Transfer monster, and I'm gonna go with my attacker because he has an extra turn skill himself. So I also removed the negative effects, so now he's not hit with Bleeding and Poison, so his power's back at full, because Bleeding and Poison, they reduce damage output by 20%. So I've restored my monster, I recharged last turn, he has full stamina, like that. I can do Bestial Hits again, I can do Bestial Charge, and so what am I going to do? I'm going to eliminate one of the enemy Sammys, and then I'm going to eliminate General Thetis. How amazing is that? And that was only possible because of my team speed holder, because he can do that. He's so darn phenomenal. I can't believe some people don't see that I've seen people say he's decent. RociGOD is not decent. There's a reason I named my RociGOD. He's that phenomenal. So now I'm going to do Pain to get rid of my negative effects. I'm going to do Pestilence to make him weak to hits. And then we'll see what else RociGOD can do. Let's do Pestilence. I'm hoping he sets up Death Moratorium to give himself insane healing. But let's just see. No, he attacked my RociGOD. He missed. Baragor is going to do Pure Rage, Healing Flesh. Yeah, let's do some healing. So Healing Flesh. Now I have the option. I can do double damage to all of my teammates. If he did set up his healing skill, I would have been able to show off they are not giants to remove that from him, but I don't need to. I'm just going to set up double damage. And so then I just skip my turn with Sammy. Let's see what he does. Unholy Resurrect. So, okay, another Sammy comes out for playing. Let's do, and he does Pestilence. So look at that, he poisoned all of my monsters. Ouch, but not really that big of a problem. So, with my Sammy, I can do Pain to get rid of them. Then Barakor is free to attack. I think he's going to eliminate the other Sammy over there, even though this other Sammy now has Resurrection. And look at my cooldowns. They are all set right now. But you know what? Let's still eliminate that other Sammy. So this is a long battle, and I like that because I really get to show off RociGOD more and more. Please set up Death Moratorium just so I can remove it, just so I can show off that he does have other great skills. So, and actually, if my Barakor was to die, and my RociGOD was to die, I'd be able to show you guys that Sammy could resurrect RociGOD, and then reset his resurrection, and then resurrect Barakor. That would be pretty cool for this video. I don't think it's going to happen. And so here, as you can see, my Sammy's the one that has negative effects. I'm going to use Does Not Make Summer. Doesn't cost me any stamina, but it removes the negative effects. So that's awesome for my Sammy. And so, oh my gosh, I can't get over how much I love this monster. I'm sorry how much I'm fangirling over this monster, but I really do believe he's that darn amazing. So I did Bestial Charge, and then as you can see, I have no stamina. Some of those skills are on a cooldown though. I'm going to recharge. When RociGOD gets his turn in, another Unholy Resurrect. Alright, luckily it was a Thetis this time. So this match is about to end. Fury of the... Whoa! 3 extra turns? Whoa! Okay, that is not... Resurrection is definitely not fixed. What the heck is that? 3 extra turns on a Resurrected Thetis. That is interesting. Okay, my monster died. Hopefully... Yes, check this out. Resurrect. Not a problem. My RociGOD's back. I'm going to Samurai Warrior my RociGOD. And then I'm going to reset the cooldowns on Barakor. So now I can do... Or actually, you know, before that, one other amazing thing about this monster, you don't have to give him 3 team speed. If you want to, you want to be unique, you want to be out there. You can give him a stamina and 2 team speed, maybe a stamina, a strength, and a team speed, and you can essentially do charge on yourself over and over and over again in hopes that you get your ultimate skill. Because there's a 5% chance to get your ultimate, and if you're spamming it over and over and over again, look, there it is. There it is, and his ultimate skill applies Ignite and Burn to all enemies, which is pretty darn powerful. So how awesome is that? Imagine if I had a high level strength rune. Right now with no strength it deals 9,000, so with a level 10 strength it would deal 18,000, and then the DLT damage from Ignition and Burning, that's quite powerful. So that's another fun trolly thing you can do. Anyhow, I'm going to do charge on my Barakor, and as you can see, all of his skills are free to use. So I'm going to do... Let's try to Bestial Charge Thetis. She didn't get stunned, that's fine. Let's get rid of Sammy because he has been quite troubling throughout this whole match. So it's a 3 against 1, and I'm going to win with RociGOD. I'm going to win with the ultimate. It's going to be a great battle. And so yeah, I hope you guys can see why I admire this monster so much, why I consider him... Oh, look at that. It's actually on a cooldown. Darn it. I guess I have to recharge again and just hope I don't get denied. Oh, Stamina Devours, doesn't matter. So as you can see, I can still use Does Not Make a Summer if for any reason I needed to. Even though I had a 3-turn cooldown, doesn't matter because I'm able to do charge on myself. I'm just going to end with Goes Far and Knows Much. And there it is. RociGOD, everyone. RociGOD. Alright, and so hopefully I was able to convince some of you to join along on that RociGOD train. He truly is that amazing. I do think he's the best light legendary monster. And by that I mean, if I could choose any light legendary monster to have, it would be RociGOD. I think I would choose him over the Nemesis monster. Sorry Lum, I love you a lot, but I'd choose him over RociGOD. I think I would even choose him over Alkaline. And I know Alkaline is an amazing light legendary monster. But just the fact that this monster, he literally fits in any team. He has synergy with any team. And then keep in mind, in Team Wars, it's 3 monsters against 3 monsters. So sure, RociGOD might not be the ideal denier. He's not a denier by any means. And you're like, oh yeah, Alkaline is better. But keep in mind, maybe you have one of your other 2 monsters, they can be a denier. Maybe they're a better denier than Alkaline, in which case, that's why you need a 3 team speed holder, and that's where RociGOD fits. Now, I do want to talk about one thing that was in the update section, and one of my friends commented that maybe this was just a typo. If you see there, it says new fix, RociGOD, charge with resonance, adding remove all positive effects on target, And so my friend thinks maybe that was a typo. Maybe that was meant to say removes all negative effects because when he was first released, his skill wasn't working properly. But I personally don't think that's the case. I think they're actually gonna add this to his skill, remove all positive effects, which I think will completely ruin his synergy with a lot of monsters, with his own knight, with Quixote. Because if they add this, if Quixote does a self buff skill and he possesses himself for 2 turns and he has triple damage, what is this skill gonna do? Basically, it's just gonna turn transfer. It's gonna give Quixote an extra turn. It's gonna get rid of possession, sure, but it's also gonna get rid of the triple buff. So it's kind of pointless. At that point, a demise is better. A cloud is way better because he'll give double damage and accuracy, I believe. So, in my personal opinion, if they add removes all positive effects from target to charge, I don't think the skill is gonna be terrible. I still think the monster is amazing. I think RociGOD is still incredible even if they add this, but what I want to say is that it'll definitely ruin a lot of synergy. Like, how can it not, right? If you were to somehow set up for an attacker, he had double damage, he had increased accuracy, he did a 45 damage AoE, and then with RociGOD you were able to turn transfer, reset the cooldown on that 45 damage AoE, but then what's the point if the monster loses his accuracy and his double damage? So this is why you've been seeing me put hashtag Save RociGOD all over on my videos, because I really don't want him to be changed. Like, this monster I was most excited about. I told everyone to go for this monster. He's just like Demise was. For some reason, Demise, when she was released, she was in the middle of the maze instead of the last monster in the maze. Instead, the last monster was Rador, who's by no means ever even mentioned or used. But Demise is like the go-to light legendary monster. She's amazing and she was incredibly cheap to get. Same with RociGOD. For some reason, Quixote is the last monster in the maze. And hey, I'm grateful for that because I was able to get RociGOD with very minimal effort. And so RociGOD was the only monster I cared for. He's the only one I went in the vent. And to find out that they're going to be changing his skill, adding this extra line to his text that actually makes him, again, he's still amazing, but it's just going to ruin his synergy. I don't like that. And if you're wondering why they want to make that change, well, I think it basically has to do with the synergy you can pull off with Mirror Mirror. So let me demonstrate. Vesuvius, I get Taunt, I get Mirror Mirror. When a monster has Mirror Mirror and you do a team skill, I'm sure you know about this, that monster essentially reflects that back on the monster. So, Charge of Resonant, keep in mind, it resets the cooldown. So when you do charge on the enemy, on your ally monster that has Mirror Mirror, he reflects it on the applied monster, which in this case is RociGOD, so he's able to give charge back to himself. Which means you can do charge again on your ally monster that has Mirror Mirror, and he reflects it back. And you can do this, and you can essentially do this over and over and over again, as much as your stamina will permit. And both monsters are just essentially giving themselves an extra turn and resetting the cooldown. And look at the turn order. If you notice, every time Agursus gets an extra turn, he keeps that extra turn. And so take a look at that. He already has 4 extra turns. I got my ultimate and I still have enough stamina to do the skill 2 more times. So I'm gonna do charge again. He's gonna charge back at me. I'm gonna charge 1 more time. And there. Now Agursus has 6 extra turns and I still get to do 1 more thing. So I can do my ultimate, and if I hadn't have gotten my ultimate, I could just do Old Horse's Momentum, and I could have given him double damage. So I'm just going to do my ultimate, and then we get to see Agursus just basically attack endlessly for 6 more turns. And I think that's why they want to change it, so he removes buffs. But I still think it's a bad thing, because first of all, I don't think it's that bad that he can do this. I know it seems overpowered, I know it seems super powerful, I know you might be thinking, Armor, that's insane, no way that should be allowed. Honestly, it works with the game mechanic. Forever the game has done this. Anytime a monster has Mirror Mirror and you do team skill, it reflects it. That's just how it works. If anything, I think, if you don't like that, I think Mirror Mirror should maybe be changed to not reflect team skills. I mean, seriously, what's the point? If anything, it should just it's good when you reflect the healing and then you double heal, but I think just change Mirror Mirror so it reflects negative effects, not positive effects. That way you don't need to nerf RociGOD, because by hitting RociGOD, you're affecting his synergy with a lot of other monsters, a lot of other team comps. And I know what I showed you is like, wow, it should be nerfed. Again, change Mirror Mirror. But also, again, I really don't think this is that bad of a problem. Who cares if you can do this? So the point I'm going to try to make by demonstrating what Demise can do is that essentially what you do with RociGOD and a Mirror Mirror monster, it's really just for show. You don't really need to give a monster 6 extra turns just to eliminate the enemy team. That's overkill, it's just for show. And to just demonstrate, with Demise, she can do Strength from Beyond on the enemy Agursus. He gets double damage, he gets an extra turn, he reflects it back at Demise. And then what Demise can do is actually give a damage boost. So now check this out, I can do the Light Within, removes negative side effects and gives damage boost. So now I've given my Agursus double damage and a damage boost and remove negative effects. So he had a debuff, he doesn't have that debuff anymore, and now he has 2 buffs, which is equivalent to triple damage. Now, I don't run the AoE skill on my Agursis, but if I did, you could pretty much guarantee that that AoE skill would kill all of the enemy monsters. So again, the RociGOD mirror combo, it looks really cool. It's like, wow, 6 extra turns and everything, and if you give him a stamina rune, it's even more extra turns. But I mean, come on, it really is just for show. I just demonstrated right here. My Agursis remove negative effects, double damage, damage boost. And I pulled this off with Demise, a monster that's been released forever. Are you also going to nerf her? Are you also going to add remove positive effects to her strength from beyond skill? I would hope not. Again, Agursis, with this buff, triple damage, no negative effects. If he was blinded, he's no longer blinded. If he was total blinded, dazed, whatever, wouldn't matter. I removed that. He has double damage, damage buff. And again, I don't run the AoE, so I can't really demonstrate it. But he basically wouldn't need 6 turns. He could eliminate everyone with triple damage in his AoE skill. So I hope that kind of shows you what I was trying to get at. RociGOD, just for show. Demise can do a similar combo. Sure, it's not flashy. Sure, Agursis doesn't get 6 returns, but he doesn't really need it. And actually, since we're on the topic of extra turn skills, did we just forget about Zyla and Voltic, who have been around since the start, and they can pretty much attack as many times as they want to? Zyla even, now she has a charging banner that you can equip on her that will actually restore her stamina. So I mean, like, come on, does it really matter that in order to pull out that combo with Mirror and RociGOD, you need a partner of 2 monsters? You need RociGOD and you need a monster with Mirror. But for Zyla and Voltic, they can attack as many times as they want without needing a partner. How insane is that? And again, Zyla, just watch what happens when I do fast chains. Watch what happens. Use fast chains, and then her charging banner activates. Oh darn it, I removed it. But basically, you can equip the banner that restores her stamina until she can attack endlessly. And for Voltic, Voltic was the original extra turn monster. 4 extra turn skills, can attack endlessly. What the heck, seriously? And we're gonna nerf a new monster just because he has some synergy with Mirror? That's the way the game mechanic works. I really don't think it should be nerfed. Again, it ruins synergy just at the expense of what? Stopping one little combo? And that combo would probably only be utilized in player versus player and occasionally in team wars, because in wars you need the right requirements to be able to set it up, and then you need the monster to have the right runes. So I really don't see it being implemented that much in wars. And even if it is, then good for you, I guess, that you were able to pull it off. But again, you don't even really need to. Just Demise and Mirror, and that monster would kill the enemy team. RociGOD is flashy, he's showy. Don't ruin his synergy with other monsters just for the sake of preventing that Mirror synergy. I don't think it's needed. And you know, I'm not a fool. I know that RociGOD does have a competitive advantage when a monster, one of your allies, has Team Mirror, because when that's the case, then you can definitely abuse his charge skill. Like, I'll demonstrate right now just for the sake of being fair and showing both sides. With a monster like Gretchen, for example, they can do upper level elixir, applies mirror to both of her teammates, to all of her teammates I mean, for 2 turns. Combine that with RociGOD, and then you have yourself some incredible synergy. I can do charge on Demise, right? So she gives me an extra turn, right? And then I can do, if I want to, let's say I feel like giving my other monster a turn, I can do charge on Gretchen. And guess what? I can do Mirror again, which is insane, right? It's so insane. So when Gretchen gets a turn in, I can Mirror again. I can do charge on Demise again, which means I can strength from beyond again. And then she gives me an extra turn again. And I get it. When it's Team Mirror, RociGOD is truly overpowered. I think there's no denying it. But again, that's the way Mirror works. If you really want to stop it, just honestly change. Don't ruin RociGOD's charge skill. Please do not do that. If anything, ruin something else, but not RociGOD. And it's really the fact that he resets the cooldown and gives an extra turn that makes him overpowered. Change Mirror to not reflect ally skills. That's all I ask. I think that's a better fix. Look at the turn order. Demise. I can recharge. And then I think I can turn transfer actually. Strength from beyond. Oh yeah, I can literally do this an infinite number of times. Because it ends off with me doing charge, which means I can charge Demise. Gosh, this is so darn broken. Not gonna lie, this is insanely broken. I can basically do charge with Demise and a monster that gives Mirror to all my teammates forever. You can literally go on forever. You never have to end your turn. You can spam charge until all of your monsters have their ultimate. Definitely, that's so darn broken. That's so darn cool. Because I'm just gonna recharge. She has her strength from beyond back. I can give it back, or I guess once she runs out of stamina, once Demise runs out of stamina, and I'm sure there's some relics you can abuse and everything, you could give her a stamina room for all I care. But that's so darn awesome, the fact that you could do that. Do charge again, give me back charge, charge demise, charge myself back. Oh my gosh, this is glorious. I can do this until all of my monsters get their ultimate. That is so funny. That is so funny. But I know you can do it forever, because take a look. Even if she runs out of stamina, so what? She can recharge, and look at the turn order. The enemy never goes. So this much is broken. Upper level elixir. But again, the problem isn't charge. The problem is the fact that mirror reflects team skills. Just honestly make it so it doesn't reflect team skills. That's all. Don't ruin charge. If you even think about a monster that applies evasion to all of your teams. The new monster Gakora can do that. Your whole team gets evasion. How cool would it be to get RociGOD and give Gakora another turn and get evasion on your team again? That'd be awesome, because again, RociGOD goes last, so to be able to protect your team again, that's phenomenal. But if you actually make it so you remove the evasion, well, that's not so helpful. I mean, if you do it to Gakora, that's fine, because you remove evasion, it can apply evasion again. But if you do it to like your attacker, well, then your attacker loses his evasion, and in case he misses or something, well, now he's a target. So don't change charge. That's all I'm asking for. That's the whole purpose of this video, an analysis on RociGOD and why he's RociGOD. And this is why I'm saying save RociGOD. The skill really shouldn't be changed. What I showed you at the end was definitely OP, not gonna lie. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. Hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Super long video. When I'm passionate about a monster like this, I can't help it but make a super long video. I normally never ask this, but be sure to comment in the comment section, hashtag save RociGOD. That being said, I'm Armor Gaming, and I will see you all next time.